Hello everyone. So a pleasant welcome to all of you. As we decided, we'll be sharing a recording each day. So one recording each day. Earlier I had mentioned two, but I'll be doing it one each day. Each recording will come on your WhatsApp groups in evening around 7:30. So after your college lectures, maybe you can spend 5 or 10 minutes. It would be continuation of one single topic only. So if we are starting with ointment, paste, and gels now, throughout this week, maybe 3 to 4 days, within I'll just finish it by recordings of ointments, some part one, then move to paste and then gels. So we'll take up small topics, which are the minor topics. Then from gradually here we move to maybe cognosy for each different part. So from your side, you can keep doing it and we can get through the topic. Don't worry, this topic will be taken during live lectures as well. It's not the case that we'll do it only via recorded lectures. No, I'll take up during classroom lectures as well. But yes, this topics which I'll be circulating in recordings as a part of our classroom lectures, it would be on the later go when we finish the major part of our syllabus. And with regards to any doubts, any queries which can come out of this recordings, what you can do is you can just WhatsApp me and we can discuss your doubts one to one after you have gone through the recording. So talking about ointments, paste and gels, so it's a part of your pharmaceutics or rather dispensing pharmacy, I would say. Since it's a part of dispensing pharmacy, I advise you to check the book Cooper and Guns for this. The link for downloading Cooper and Guns was already being circulated in our WhatsApp group earlier, so you can download the PDF of that book Cooper and Guns from our group. In case you don't get it, don't worry, I'll repost it in the group description of our WhatsApp group, so you can download Cooper and Guns from there. So refer Cooper and Guns strongly for this book, for this particular paper rather. Other than that, from ointment, paste and gels, what are the probable questions? So they ask us with regards to example of different ointments. So we have different types of ointments. So which ointment is being manufactured by this method or that method? So basically we are talking about probable question from classification of ointments. With regards to paste and gels, when I'll come up with the next videos part 2 and part 3, that time I'll talk about that as well. As of now, I'll be focusing on ointments. Initially for this recording, I'll be focusing on classification of ointments, what are the different bases involved, only that much. Whatever is important from those parts, that I'll keep you notified. Next video what I'll be taking you ahead would be manufacturing of ointments with the further part of paste and gels. So probably within 2 to 3 recordings we should be done with this particular ointment, paste and gels part. Being used in gels, ophthalmic gels are available in which there are no drugs, there are simply polymers. Those polymers are actually acting as an active over there. They are without medicaments. That polymer itself, carboxymethyl cellulose, that polymer itself is serving the purpose. Same way you have it for your ointment. Basically, our ointments are semi-solid preparations which are with or without medicaments intended for external applications. Coming to an important MCQ, our ointments exhibit a plastic flow. Don't forget this. Now, this is indirectly related to your rheology chapter. In rheology, you had plastic, pseudoplastic, thixotropy. I know we have not done rheology till now, but my next topic, which I would parallelly circulating in videos, would be rheology. So don't worry, you can sync both of them. Don't forget your ointments have a plastic flow property, which is one of the probable MCQ. Going ahead, whenever you apply your ointments, its resistance to flow goes down, so it doesn't spread away easily when you apply it to skin. You actually have to apply pressure. Further, talking about classification of ointments, as I said, classification of ointments is an important question. So they won't ask you write a short note on classification of ointments. It would be the other way around. How it will be, that I'll show you now. So firstly, ointments are classified according to the state of medicaments, as we just saw medicated or non-medicated ointments. So your non-medicated ointments are probably the ones which have an emollient action or maybe some protective or lubricating effect. As I mentioned, this is very rare these days in pharmaceutical industry. Now this is where I was talking about importance from entrance point of view. Classification of ointments according to type of ointment basis. So the question would be, calamine ointment contains which type of base? I repeat, calamine ointment contains which type of base? Question will be this way. So as we can see over here, the ointment bases are being classified basically into 4 types. One is the oleaginous basis, Next is absorption basis, followed by emulsifying basis and water soluble basis. So in order to make a short form out of this, what you can have with you is वो ए वो वो हिंदी में वो means वो A doesn't make anything, just some bad part of it, adverse effect you can consider वो A. So when you say wo A, W stands for water soluble basis. We need to remember the name of examples. So when you say water soluble basis, it is your polyethylene glycol base. Macrogol ointment contains water soluble basis. Point number one. Macrogol ointment contains water soluble basis. Just the way calamine ointment contains calamine ointment contains oleaginous type of base. What are those bases? They can be waxes, they can be oils as well. Further, when it comes to emulsifying bases, you have your surfactants, surface active agents, which is your emulsifying ointment. And the last one for your absorption bases, you have Wolfat and Lanolin. Again, a typical example, salicylic acid ointment contains which type of base? Answer is absorption base. I repeat, salicylic acid ointment contains which type of base? It is absorption base. So we need to know these examples are containing which bases. That's important from entrance point of view. We need to know ointments flow, ointments show which type of flow. These two stand most important from this particular slide. Going ahead, according to method of preparation, there are two methods for preparing your ointments. One is the incorporation method, another is the fusion method. What are these methods? How are they being used? How are they manufactured? Don't worry, I'll talk about all of them in the second video of this particular session. As of now, I'm just classifying it. So according to method of preparation, there are two methods: incorporation method and fusion method. Incorporation method says sulfur ointments are being made. Remember the name, sulfur ointments are being made by incorporation method, while your simple ointments are being made by fusion method. Don't forget this. Simple ointments are being made by fusion method. Sulfur ointments are being made by incorporation method. Why, what not, that we'll see in the next slide. What stands most important is this entire table, which ointment contains which type of base, which category it belongs to. Ointment show what type of advantages and limitations. These three are the most important part from this particular slide. Videos each time. Rather than splitting it into two videos of 7 minutes each, I've just split it into 10-15 minutes of each video. So I hope you can go through that much at a go. When it comes to advantages and limitations, like we are aware, since it is a topical dosage form, you will be applying your paste, ointment, creams, gels directly to the affected area. So you're not taking it via oral route, it's being applied to the specific area. It avoids unnecessary exposure of drug. Since you're not giving it to oral route, no other organs would be affected and there won't be any side effects since it's a local application. It avoids first pass metabolism since it is directly applied to the site. Again, you can administer it to unconscious patient as well as to pediatric geriatric patients since you just have to apply it. And as compared to solid and liquid dermatological preparations, semi-solid dosage form will have better adhesion. Very true, since you are applying them on the screen, and also they will have a prolonged residence after application. They'll stay at that particular site for a longer duration since it is applied externally and it has a good amount of viscosity. Talking about the stability, chemically they are more stable and they are easy to handle compared to liquid dosage forms, because when it comes to your syrup, suspension, emulsions, which will be again a part of my recordings, gradually their stability issues are more compared to the topical dosage form. Again, whenever it is a bitter tasting drug, you can give it via semi-solid dosage form. Since it's a bitter tasting drug, via semi-solid dosage form being administered, it won't come in contact with the oral system, so no harm on that way. With regards to limitations, yes, there are some limitations into it. Firstly, your oily semi-solid preparations, they can cause staining. So imagine you have some infection on your elbow, and if you are wearing a full sleeve shirt, elbow पे कुछ infection है उस पे full sleeve shirt पहन रहे हो, it will cause staining on your clothes. That's one limitation. Secondly, they're cosmetically less aesthetic. When it comes to cosmetics, they are being topical, they give that aesthetic appeal. But your pharmaceutical dosage forms giving an aesthetic appeal is a challenge. It's not easy. Its application with fingertip may contaminate or irritate when applied. So yes, you don't have any specific applicator for your topical dosage forms. Like when you do it via syrups, you have that container in which you take the syrup, 2 ml, 5 ml. हाथ में लेके तो हम नहीं पीते, right? So you take it via that particular conventional way. Same way when it comes to your topical dosage forms, you don't have anything as an applicator, so you use your fingertip, which ultimately actually also infects your, rather also contaminates your finger and causes irritation. Nextly, compared to solid dosage forms, yes, semi-solids are bulky to handle. Tablets, capsules are easy to handle. They are simply in strips, so it's not a challenge any day. When it comes to semi-solid dosage forms, creams है उस पे बैठ गए हो गया पूरा पचका. So those all limitations are there. Those accuracy is also a problem. Someone might take in one application a quantity while someone else might take a lesser quantity. So those accuracy is a problem in that case. Physical chemically, yes, they are less stable than solid dosage form, but don't forget they are more stable than liquid dosage form. So when it comes to entrance point of view, nothing great important from this particular slide. So we will stop over here with regards to next lecture. We'll be talking about formulation of ointments. What does it need? What does not require? What are the different semi-solid bases which are a part of it, which is for sure important part from your entrance again. And yes, we'll be talking about the other aspects from creams, paste and gels. That's all for now. 10 to 12 minutes for each of the videos. Please ensure you go through all the videos each evening whenever I post it. Thank you so much. In case of any doubts, any queries, feel free to reach out to us. Keep your targets up. We shall surely do it to All India Rank 01. Keep studying, students. Thanks a lot. Stay home, take care, stay happy. Bye.